Alright, so welcome to Popcorn 10's NoobShop tutorial. I'm pretty much going to start this because I've been getting a lot of messages pretty much, and it's all of really retarded questions too, like, I don't use this pen tool, and oh my god, selection, what the heck is that? And I've even gotten one where it's like, can you help me with drawing? And I'm like, can you explain the question thoroughly? And they're like, I don't know, I just keep drawing and it's just not looking good in Photoshop. It's called you suck, but let me try to help you with that. Alright, so in this tutorial session, I'm going to try to be doing a lot more of these. School just started, so hopefully I'll be bored and I'll do these a lot more. I'm just going to explain some of like the basic tools, so at least you don't feel like a complete moron while using them. Some of them, I honestly have no idea what they are, like art history brush. I mean, I know what a history brush tool is, like, I know what the history is and stuff, but pretty sure no one really uses that. Alright, so pretty much I'm just going to make a new file here, go to File, New. Right now I'm just going to make it the default Photoshop size, which is a 7 inches by 5 inches, which don't ever really use anyway, but it's default, so let's just open that up. Okay, first off, you have your selection tool, or move tool, which the shortcut is V, and pretty much it's like if you have anything selected, you will be able to move it. Oh my god, that's amazing, right? And if you're ever having trouble with figuring out what you're actually getting selected on, go on the top left, and where it says Show Transform Controls, click that, and then it'll have little dots around your picture of what you're moving. Let me just draw a little object really fast so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I have my beautiful picture right here, right? And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know, like I can move it, but I don't know what I'm doing. You click Show Transform Tools, and now you see the box, and now you can move it, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. Alright, so then after that, you have your, let's see what it's called, Rectangular Marquee Tool. And the shortcut to that, who cares? So pretty much that's just a square selection, and you're like, maybe I want this part of it. And you're like, okay, cool guys, I have this selected. Now what do I do? Well, then you can go back to your little move tool, and oh my god, look what just happened. It's moving the only part that's selected. Okay, so let's just undo that. And after that, then you have your lasso tool, which is really neat because you're like, oh my god, I want a weird shape, let's just do this instead, and then do what you did before. And lasso, if you ever notice, also with the marquee tool, if there's a little arrow on the bottom right of each little tool, that means there's more selections, like more different things of that. Oh my god, you did not know that because you're a noob. You have like, you know, square selections, circles, little single rows and single columns, and all that mess. And then as for the lasso tool, you have like polygon lasso, which is like, it's like straight lines instead of curves and free will basically with selections. Then you have the magnetic lasso tool, and this is like where like guesses where you want to select. It's like, oh my god, I'm guessing that you only want to select this little black spot right here. And yeah, it's kind of gay, but whatever. Then we have the magic wand tool, emphasis on the magic. This is probably one of my favorite tools of all time. You can pretty much like select something and it like selects that little bit. Now normally you're going to have to contract or expand on the selection, but I won't get into that. I'll get into that in my later tutorials. It's pretty much cool because it selects whatever color that you can edit the tolerance of it if it's continuous, if it's all layers or anti-alias, all that jazz. Okay. Then you have the crop tool. Obviously it's like, I don't like this, I want only this, so you just select that and you double click and it's like, oh my god, you guys, I just made the picture smaller. But let's undo that really fast. And then you have the slice tool, which is amazing. And that's pretty much for making web graphics. And you're like, I have a button, let me just select this and that'll be the button, and it's all like that, and you save it as Safer Web. I'll also make another tutorial on how to make simple web pages later on, so let's just undo that. Then you have, no, the spot healing brush is kind of gay, let's skip that. Brush tool, the Omega normal nothing special tool pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just the brush tool. You know, you click it and you're like, oh my god, I'm drawing. Oh my god, I'm drawing. You can make it smaller. So here's hardness at 100%. Let's make hardness at 0. And you're like, oh my god, it's soft this time, you guys. And there's a bunch of different versions of that. Don't I ever catch you using this grass tool. I will probably murder someone, whoever uses the grass tool or the leaf tool, because everyone who's like, anime, desu, kawaii-ness, oh my god, hi, desu, uses that, and it's so stupid, oh my god. Then we have the clone stamp, that's gay, and the history brush has gay too. Eraser, yep, you guessed it, it erases, holy crap, yep. Then we have the great, what is this? This is the paint bucket tool. You probably know this from Paint. You just click somewhere and it's like paint bucket, but it does only select certain things. Now you can change the tolerance of it to where maybe it's like it doesn't care if this is white or dark, it just does the entire screen. I'll get later into that when I talk about my methods of paint bucketing mixed with the magic wand tool. And of course it also has another feature, which is the gradient tool. And that's where it's the pretty gradients where you're like, whoa, let's make mine at 100 opacity just to see the difference. And that's gradient. You just click and drag and drop and it just does stuff, which you can also do a lot of neat stuff like gradient shading with the selection. Then you have the blur tool. Let's make this a little bigger so you can see. And yep, you guessed it. It blurs things. I know. And then it has different things like the sharpen tool, and yep, you guessed it, it sharpens things. Now you don't really want to blur and then sharpen because obviously it looks all retarded like this, in case you want, well, unless you want that effect. Then also it's the smudge tool, and you may think that's the same as the blur tool, but obviously it's different. Blur is a little bit more softer, while smudge is like, it smudges. You can make an awesome scene enemy with this or something. Yep, I give you an idea how to do it. And you can also change the strength of that. I had an older tutorial about fur and it dealt with the smudge tool and the strengths and stuff. Then next you have the dodge tool. This is probably one of the most raped tools ever on Photoshop by kawaii-ness, desu, hi, noobs. The it's the dodge. Dodge tool pretty much makes anything lighter. You're like, that's pretty cool. I don't ever have to like actually do any manual shading. If you want to have an effective picture, you do, like, as you can see right now, it's good for, like, shiny things. Like, I use it for, like, metals and metallics and anything like that. But for skin and any other shading, my god, I will come to your house and I will beat you to death. I will not hesitate. And then after dodge, which makes things lighter, you have burn. And that does the exact opposite. It makes things darker. And that's pretty cool, too, with metallics, but I tend to use gradient than that. Which, yeah, see, it looks cool here because you're like, oh my god, masterpiece. It's not even like an actual object. It's just a bunch of squiggly lines with retarded leaves. But no, don't ever use this tool unless, you know, it's like metallics or maybe you just feel like being a noob for a day. Just do not use it on skin, please. I mean, you can use it on skin for a little bit of stuff, but don't over-rape the tool because it's been raped so many times it deserves better. Then you have the sponge tool, and that kind of like takes the saturation out of stuff. Because this is all grayscale, you can't really see the difference. But pretty much if you had like a really, really yellow thing, it'll slowly get to gray and desaturate it. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. The pen tool. Let me make a new file for this. I've been getting a lot of questions about this stupid thing. Alright. So it's so easy. I cannot believe so many people are this stupid. You're like, click, 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 click. Awesome, I have a line. Now what? Well, you right click and you do stroke path, and pretty much whatever your brush size is set to, I don't know what mine is, but let's see. You press OK and it does that. Now, my brush was sent to those stupid leaves, so let's change that really fast to like a normal brush. Okay, I changed it to 31. Alright, so we go back to pen, you right click, stroke path. It'll be like, it'll say brush. And you go like, okay, and oh my god, you guys, look. Now let's right click. Actually, this is press enter and it deletes the path for you. And let's tell you about stroke pressure. Let's do it again. Right click, stroke path. This time, click simulate pressure and press okay. Oh my god, look what happened. It has little bitty lines in the tips and stuff like that. It's all thin, like as if you had a pen tool. The tablet. Now, this is okay if you know how to like, if you know where it's going to get thinner and thin, because sometimes you think it's going to get thin somewhere and it does not. It looks retarded in some pictures. So most likely you're going to have a lot more luck with just doing this without pen pressure and then erasing it yourself. You can also curve lines where you're like click, click, hold down, and pretty much it's like your servant. You can abuse it and do whatever you want with it, and it moves wherever you want to go. Let's unclick that and just do right click, stroke path, and let's keep simulate pressure on just to see what it looks like. Whoa, see how stupid that looks? Okay. Then you have the text tool. I'm not going to go through that because it's the text tool. And yeah. And then there's path selection, which that's for like when you're using pen tools and so forth. There's lines, you guessed it, it does lines, you guys. After that, it's pretty much just, you know, eyedropper, hand, where you can move things if you're like it completely zoomed in. Oh my god, hand tool, moving now. Everything else is just zoom. I'm gonna go a little bit more thorough on certain tools. I'm just telling pretty much just the basics, like this is a brush tool. Yeah, you use it with stuff. So, most likely my next tutorial will probably be about, I don't know, gradient shading or web design, like a real simple one with the slice tool, because apparently people don't even know what that is or what it does or its functions or anything. So just hit me back through comments. I probably prefer messages though. And I most likely will also be doing a Cypress Ranch complaint video. Yay! Beginning of school. It just started for me this Monday. That's pretty much it. I don't know if I'll do an art update. The contest is still in action, whatever. I'm not going to leave a link to that because I honestly don't care. And that's pretty much it. So this has been a noob tutorial thing about tools, or at least most of them. And I'll probably hit you back with a better, thorough tutorial that actually doesn't suck. So this is Popcorn 1010, and you're still a noob.